Shalom family, how are you guys doing today? Today's day 4 of our series, Put On and Put Off. So we're going to be focusing on forgiveness. We need to put on forgiveness and put off unforgiveness. And so let's check out Mark 11:26, which says, "But if you do not forgive, neither will your Father in heaven forgive you your trespasses." So family, very straightforward. As always, Yahuwah's word is the truth. And so we need to understand that this is a commandment, right? Because he's telling us what will happen if we don't do something. This is why it is a commandment and it is a law, and it's something that we need to take very seriously, especially where he says Yahuwah won't forgive us if we don't forgive others. How could we get to the kingdom of heaven if we're not forgiven? We know that he's just to forgive us if we forgive others and if we ask and confess our sins. So we need to make sure that we forgive others. I know it's hard because sometimes you are hurt. Sometimes you don't think it's fair. But forgiveness is not just about releasing that person from your mind or from that area in your heart that you hold the people that have did wrong against you. But this is more about releasing resentment and any other emotional feeling that can hurt you. Things like that will not allow you to ascend. All right, family? If you want to ascend, you have to let these things go. Ascension. Ascension means to go up, right? Let's look up what ascension means. Ascension. All right, so the word, the word ascension means the act of rising to an important position or a higher level. We all want to grow to this higher level, this higher frequency, this higher vibration. We all want to get closer to Yahuwah, who is the head. He is the most high. He is the most high ascension. He is the most high one. But if we are operating in these negative ways, that is way far from him, right? Those ways are all the way down here in darkness, and he is all the way up there. He is the most high. So by us putting these things on, let's just say we're right here, but Yahuwah's all the way up there. Let me put off unforgiveness. Now you moved up a little bit. Let me put off lying. Now you moved up a bit. Let me put off offense. Now you moved up a bit. Let me put off lack of love. Now you moved up a bit. And so you understand that when I say the more you put these negative things off, the higher your vibration, the higher your elevation, the more you will grow, the more fruit you will yield, the more people you can bless. Did not Yahuwah say in Matthew 5:16, what did he say, family? Matthew 5:16. He said, "And let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify the Father in heaven." How can we allow others to see the light within us that glorifies Yahuwah if we are operating in these negative ways? Everything that we do should be for his glory, his esteem. So we have to be mindful of what we're putting on. Right? We are people or beings that go to sleep, we rest, and then we are blessed to see a new day. We awaken, and now we need to put on clothes, put on your sneakers, your shoes, and then we need to put on that armor of Yahuwah, and then we need to put on these things that we're going to be discussing in this series. Some of us might need to put on more of these garments than others. Maybe you already have forgiveness, but maybe you have a lack of something else. This is why we have to make sure we are well dressed, because when we are well dressed, we are letting our light shine before others, not to be prideful, not to stick out in a narcissistic way or a self-seeking attention way, but so that people can say, wow, Yahuwah is with them. I want that light. I want some of that light. Not in a covetous way, but in a way in which we can bless others. A way in which we can water the seed that was planted in them. So sometimes when it comes to forgiveness, family, and let's just say you were hurt, sometimes it is more of like where people are like, well, I'm not going to forgive them until they say sorry first. And the other one's like, I'm not saying sorry because they did this. And so someone has to be the one that is the light. Someone has to be the one that decides to be the bigger person. And when I say bigger, I mean the person that has that elevated type of way, the person that has the father in them that says, please forgive me if I've hurt you, if I've done anything to offend you. And so you're doing that for yourself. You're doing that so that you are forgiven by Yahuwah. And you're doing that to be the light to them. Because when you do that, you show people how they should be also. We are all teachers in some type of way. Whether you believe you are or not, you are a teacher. When we are practicing righteousness, we have to be able to teach it also, right? If someone asks you a question, if you're planting the seeds, if you're spreading the basura, someone might ask you something. You would have to teach them, right? You can't just give somebody something and then walk off. Yahuwah has instilled in all of us to be this light, his vessels, and to be able to teach others how to be. So when you have people out there doing that, we are to listen and we are to follow that same way. We all have one Ruach, right? Under one Alua. We have one Mashiach, and we are one love. One, many tribes, many branches, but one Alua, one way to the Father. That's it, the straight and narrow path. And we know that when we are operating under that one Ruach, it looks like like-mindedness. It looks like the same ways, right? People can understand you. It's like we are speaking the same language. We are operating in likeness to each other. And that's how it should be. You think about your body, your body responds to what other members on your same body does. So just think about how we're all that one body in Mashiach. And so whatever I'm doing over here, even though it might look different, the response can be felt somewhere else. So when one person starts to say, you know what, let me forgive, now it's like a domino effect. At least it should be. And so we as a nation, we need to put on that. You ever see a flock of sheep? They really do follow each other. I have a flock of ducks. And so if one of them moved over here to the right, they all go where that duck is. They flock together. Birds of a feather flock together. When it comes to sheep, it is the same thing. They are unity. They are community. They are family-oriented animals. And they follow their shepherd. We are to be unified as well. We are to be sticking together as well. We are to be like the other members. If one person's righteous, if 10 people are righteous, we all need to be righteous. When there is a group of people that all serve the same Alua according to their mouths, but the ones over here practice forgiveness, and the ones over here hold grudges, and then the ones over here operate under love for all people, all nations, and then the ones over here have a problem with certain nations, and are more operating under that spirit of hate, right? Like the camps and stuff. And then you have over here the people that maybe there's people over here that twist and add into the word and do their own doctrine and understanding. Then you have over here something else. So we have to be able to understand that this division makes us weak, and having different flaws obviously makes us even weaker. So we have to be encouraged when we hear messages that allows us to examine ourselves. And this is why I'm starting this. And I'm going to keep going. It's a whole lot, family. I'm not even sure when we'll be done, because there's so many putting off things that we have to do. But this is worth it, and it's for our own good. All right? So, as I said, when you put off unforgiveness, you're also putting off resentment and bitterness and all the other things like anger and stuff. It all is under one umbrella. And then you make room for the positive things, the things that will help you to ascend. Yahuwah told us, he says, the kingdom is within you. The kingdom of Elohim is within you. So knowing that, we know that it's already within us. But when we have these other negative emotions, we don't have peace, right? You don't have peace. Instead, you have stress. You have unhealthy relationships. You have, diseases and ailments, because having these type of emotions causes blood pressures to rise. It causes, breakouts sometimes. It causes you to cry. It causes heart palpitations, high blood pressure, you name it. And so when you have these things in your body, it is a spiritual attack. And sometimes we think, oh, Hashatan, we always quick to blame him when we have a illness or when something is coming against us. But sometimes Yahuwah is testing you, and other times it is you that cause these things. Because if you are someone operating in negative ways, or if you have negative characteristics that you have been dealing with and you're not putting them off, they're just going to fester, and your temple's going to become filthy. And then the disease will thrive, right? These parasites, these unclean ruachs, they love when something's dirty, right? That's their best habitat. So in order to make our bodies uninhabitable and to be, a place where it will cause them to die, really, to be put to death, we have to make sure we're constantly cleansing ourselves, not just by what we're eating, but we have to cleanse ourselves from these iniquities, right? We know that these things are not something we should be doing. And I know it's easier said than done, but we have to stop. We have to stop. We need to have stress relief. We need to have healing. We need to have a healthy relationship with anyone we encounter. That is the only way that we can be a blessing to others, is if we can make sure that no matter who it is, what gender they are, what nation they are, that we can smile and we can be a loving person, glorifying the Father, praising Yahuwah, esteeming Yahuwah, proclaiming Yahuwah in any way, shape, or form. That's how we make sure that we're doing what we're supposed to do. And then because of all these good things that we do, we have this sense of inner peace, right? We're at the kingdom within us. We have that. We're there already. We have this inner peace because we know that we didn't do anything messed up. We're doing everything right. And so that's why sometimes when you encounter certain people, if you have some people, they are just so happy and at peace, even though all these crazy things are going on out there in the world, and the world's getting darker. You have the people that freak out everything, and every time something's happening, and they seem so chaotic and stressed and irritated and anxious. And then you have the people, and you're like, oh, this is happening. And they're like, okay, it's okay. I woke up today. I'm happy. You have to be able to transform your mindset so that we are reaching this level of an ascension that gives us that inner peace, right? We have to be able to have peace with who we are, embracing the way we were made, how we look. We have to accept our flaws or our thorns that are something we, like Yahuwah has there. So like these disabilities or things about us that maybe we can't change no matter what. There's some things people have that they were born with, congenital things, different things. So embracing your thorns and knowing that you have a purpose, and then knowing that you can go to sleep at night with a clean heart. There's nobody you're angry with. You've forgiven everybody in your heart and by your mouth, right? You know that because of how you act. Hopefully they know that too. Sometimes we can form scenarios in our head that is not really the reality of things. And that can happen when you are listening to unclean ruachs or familiar spirits, when you are listening to your flesh. Your flesh will have you thinking all types of negative things about anything. So we have to make sure we trust and listen to Yahuwah and his ruach. Okay? That is the only thing, because then he will tell you when you need to do something or not, right? Many people are not going to be able to be forgiven if they don't ask for forgiveness and if they don't forgive their brethren. And he will let you know if you need to do something. He'll put it in your spirit. He will put it in your spirit, and you're going to you might feel like hesitant, but you have to do it. Even if it's just just forgetting the wrongdoing. Okay, I know some people, they be wanting, I'm sorry, but to be honest, every new day that passes, we shouldn't be worried about what happened yesterday, 2 days ago. I mean, it's different when we're talking about like paying bills or stuff like that. But when it comes to negative situations, you don't want to keep holding on to these negative situations. You want to make sure you make peace with whatever happened. Take in what you have learned from these situations, whether it's what to do next time, what not to do. Maybe pay attention to your triggers, what you ate that day, what else went on that day that could have contributed to your emotions towards whoever you have unforgiveness with. All of these things matter. What did you eat? How much sleep did you have? When was the last time you prayed? When was the last time that you were in Yahuwah's presence? These things matter, family. So this is why we should also be in that journal. And you need to be, how many books of these are? Well, this I usually use for scriptural studies, but I have so many books filled with just journaling and things that pop in my head. You also write down your dreams, your visions, what Yahuwah gives you in your heart. And as he wills it, you release it when you want. You keep it to yourself. You pray, you ask him for more clarity. And so we have to just be people that are able to do this, because this is that self-care. Like, the world says, oh, self-care, get your nails done, hair done. It's deeper than that. Self-care is loving yourself so much that you are able to forgive those that hurt you, and that you are able to stop doing anything negative or that can harm you spiritually first, because we know it happens there first. Then we need to make sure that we're not doing anything that can hurt us physically. And as parents, if you have little ones, always making sure that you teach your children everything that you learn also, so that you pass it down. Because a lot of us go through things in private, not intentionally keeping it to ourselves, but we just feel like we shouldn't teach or educate others on what we go through. Like, we kind of handle things on our own. But no, when you are in a family, and especially when you are in the truth, whatever challenge you went through, share that challenge with your spouse, with your mother, whoever's in the truth with you. I mean, even if they're not in the truth, share. Say, you know, I went through this for this long, and, you know, at first I was feeling very unforgiving. I had a lot of bitterness, a lot of resentment, because I noticed that at that time, yada, yada, yada. But then I started to put these things off. And some of the ways I did that was I grounded myself more. I did some more journaling. I changed the way I eat. I prayed more. I set apart time to spend with Yahuwah and to just examine myself. And now I feel inner peace and I feel healed. And so, like, when you share experiences like that, that are positive, not only are you experiencing inner peace, but you are enlightening the people in your family, your bloodline, and you are literally being the light. Okay, you are breaking that generational curse, because a lot of us, we grew up in families where don't you say nothing about this, and you know, everything was just quiet, didn't say nothing, especially if you got around other relatives. Your mom, don't be, and you better not be telling my business. You know what I mean? So it's like, now we need to make sure that we are telling not too much personal stuff, but you guys get me. When you are going through something that really took a toll on your temple, on your mental, on your spiritual health, definitely share that, at least with someone that you can trust. And if you don't have anyone you can share it with, journal it and share it with Yahuwah. Show him, you know, you can talk to him. He's Ruach. He's with you and he's within you. And remember, I said your organs listen too. They operate, everything operate under frequency. Even the clothes you wear, family. Make sure that you are wearing cotton and linen and wool when that season's here, because these other false clothings and things like that really can change our frequencies and they cause diseases. So we have to make sure that we are always making sure that we put on good clothes, eat right, and do all these things, because sometimes we like, why can't I forgive? Why can't I do this? And you struggle within this sin, and then you're trying to look like, I don't watch TV, I don't listen to secular music, I renounce this, I repented, but you're still struggling. It can be other things. See, Hashatan's slick, and he snuck in so many different ways to keep us in bondage and to hurt us. Okay, that's why I said pay attention to what you ate that day, because sometimes you might be eating something and it can affect your mood, family. Yeah, it definitely can. Coffee and chocolate, some of these foods have chemicals in it that can arouse, that can make you angry. I mean, processed foods alone is not something that's going to make you feel good. You're going to have mood swings. And I don't want this for us. I want us to do better. We need to eat food that is more alkaline based. We need to eat food that is life, food that grows on those trees. That is the type of food that is going to keep us positive. Citrus fruit alone, just slicing open an orange, a grapefruit, a lemon, and you inhaling that makes you feel happy. You're going to feel vibrant. You're going to feel so refreshed. Okay. And so it's important. There's so much we can get into. I don't want to stray away from unforgiveness, putting that off. But if you are struggling, there are so many different natural ways that you can help improve your mood, so that maybe when you are feeling better, it will be easier to put these things off. Sometimes we can't put it off because we are just in this rut and we don't want to, right? We're just so bitter. But when you start seeing that you're eating right and you get more energy and you feel refreshed and rejuvenated, it will be easier to do something or to put something off. It's just like with kids. They're like, oh, don't bother mom. She's not in a good mood right now. Now's not a good time to ask for ice cream, right? But then you catch your mom, she's laughing, right? She looks like she's having a good time. The kids are going to be like, okay, let's ask her now. So it's like, sometimes when someone's already negative, it's extremely hard to put things off. So it is best to try to reach a level of happiness. We have to make sure that we are able to wake up and just be happy. There's many people that wake up and they start complaining. They wake up, oh, my back hurt. Oh, I got a crook in my neck. Instead of waking up, thank you, Yahuwah. Thank you, Abba, for keeping me safe through the night. You know, there are wicked things that go on in the night, family. And when you're dreaming and, you know, all these things, all your dreams. I mean, it's a blessing when you wake up the next day and you're able to see your family again and see light. So we have to just be humble and thank him first and stop complaining. When you wake up, that is the best time to affirm how your day's going to go. You wake up and you have authority through Mashiach to say, today is going to be a great day. Thank you, Yahuwah, for waking me up today. Today, I am not going to have any unforgiveness. Today, I am going to be healed. I'm going to plant a seed in someone and it is going to grow. You know, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. You say that. You say that nice and loud. The enemy can't stand it. Are you going to get spiritually attacked? Maybe. But when you wake up, and you put on your clothes, make sure you put that armor on and you put on love, kindness, forgiveness, and all these things. And your day is going to be perfect. You're going to have a perfect day because you have that inner peace, because you know that you are not doing anything that is not good to do. Many of us, we just wake up and just keep going. Right? We just keep going. Wake up, very robotic. Like you wake up, you brush your teeth, but never any thank you, Yahuwah. And then we don't even like set affirmations. You just automatically think about what you have to do that day, and you do it. And then by the time you pray, it's like you give them a little 4 or 5 minutes, and now you go back to being super busy. We have to stop doing that. We have to prioritize our spiritual health and our salvation. We have to prioritize our ascension. He showed us the way to the Father. Make sure that we are following his ways in order to climb up. In a way, we have to climb up that ladder. We have to ascend based on the things he told us to do. If you're struggling, he showed you that he fasted and he got a breakthrough. But why aren't you fasting to get your breakthrough? He told you if you ask, you shall receive. But why aren't you having faith that you will receive it after you asked? He told you to be patient and long suffering. He told you to be patient and wait and have faith. And why aren't we doing that? So when we say we follow the way, make sure you're truly following the way. Don't just keep saying things with the mouth. Make sure in your heart, you know you're following the way. And sometimes the way can get hard, right? We have to endure. We have to be able to endure. And forgiveness is not easy for a lot of people because some people hold grudges. Some people don't know how to forgive people because they watch their parents not forgive people. Like I said, you watch people don't forgive people, and see parents, they don't realize your children are watching you, you know, and they're going to have a lot of our ways. So we have to make sure that we are in real life, not just putting on a facade because the kids are watching, but just try to be a genuine person with them. If you do something that is not right, you tell them, hey guys, what you saw mommy do just now, that's not really nice of mommy. Mommy should have did this instead. Never do this. And you make sure that they agree and they understand what you're saying, because we can't allow our children to believe that we are so perfect when we're not. But we have to allow them to know that when they are messing up or make mistakes, that it's okay to confess our mistakes and to try again and do it right the next time. So always forgive and always teach others to forgive as well. And to continue to be that light, that positive light that glorifies your Father in heaven, because he is pleased with these things, family. So I pray you guys have a good rest of your evening. I'm going to drink my tea and I'm probably going to knock out. So I'm going to get my rest. I will be back tomorrow for day 5. And I believe it's putting off selfishness, if I'm not mistaken. So we're going to get into that word tomorrow. All right. And I will see you then.